afternoon today we're gonna be playing Black Ops 4. So let's just get into this.
Starts rushing for the Humvees. Up front, they're taking the old woman and her daughters into Freindly, so they're rushing back to base. Medical attention. Briefly, I think about my own grandmother. What if it had been her in that house? We made this mess. Now we gotta clean it up and make it right. Suddenly, there's light and thick. Finally, a roar. I'm staring up at the sky and I can barely hear it. Slowly, my hearing comes back. Then I look over at my Humvee just 40 feet away and it's in flames. Took an RPG and it looks like the gas tank got hit. There's burning diesel everywhere. Immediately, I look at my gunner and I see him miraculously laying down fire towards a house a block over. The thick, heavy-duty tire and axle somehow protected him from the blast. War is so random sometimes. My head's all fuzzy as I look at my gunner firing away. I keep remembering, don't fire unless you need to, and keep on the 2 rounds until it's absolutely critical. There's civilians everywhere. I open my mouth to tell them to stop firing, but then I see the dust that's being kicked up all around me. Little explosions and dust everywhere, and I realize we're being shot at. My hearing finally comes back as I recover behind a short concrete wall. The air is full of sharp cracks, and it dawns on me that that's the sound of being on the wrong end of the wall. I make contact with my team, checking for casualties. Everybody's fine, but the dust isn't going down. My mind races as I take stock of the situation. We're being told to extract ASAP, but I radio back that our Humvee's out. We got 1 casualty. The fire's coming from a house directly at the street of us, and I realize that this was probably the house we were looking for all along. Just our luck. Expected us to hunker down, to sit still. Their mistake. They'll pay for it. It's a lot like shooting targets at the firing range. You quick squeeze of the trigger and it's over in a couple of seconds. The 3 of us opening up almost simultaneously. We're now just a few houses over from the target house, which is being hammered by one of the front teams. Incredibly, still has people shooting back at them. The other fire team is looking up, also bringing some big money back guns, but they got gunned down in firefighters. Yes, their first was smarter about how they moved toward an ongoing fight. Fixed the number of hostiles by now, though. 2 still firing inside the house. 3 up the street. Another estimated 3 down inside the house, 2 in front of it after trying to keep a break on the front door. Plus the 4.
Bye!
9 now KIA. We're all either living in or next to the target house. Suddenly, I'm really happy we didn't hit the right house. It would have been a bloodbath for the entry teams. It's a small village, though, and the good news is that with so many hostiles in one spot, it's unlikely there's reinforcements coming from anywhere.
Bye. Bye.
This gives me an idea. It's insane, and I surprised myself when I realized I've already transmitted the information. I'm even more surprised when we get the go-ahead. We get cleared to storm the house, take out the last 2 guys. Both the CZ and EVIP still alive, all with a 3-man assault squad. It's insane. I keep telling myself as we move toward the rear of the house, guns up and eye string on the windows and doors around us, but especially the rear door of the house. It's been left wide charge them out and take guys with me, but I push it out of my mind. I realize that this is the first time I've been afraid since the fighting actually started. I've been running on pure adrenaline, brain falling back on training. I go back to that place and I try to think about what's coming next as just another training exercise, just another breaching exercise. Move in, shoot the stationary target dummies, don't shoot the civilian dummies. Reset the course, do it all over. At the back of the house, I peer into one of the rear windows. There's what looks like a messy bedroom that sleeps in at least a dozen guys. Blankets all over the floor, but it's clear. The back door leads to what I'm assuming is a hallway. Slowly, the three of us maneuver on that door, stopping just to the right. This was my stupid idea, so it's my head that peers out and into the open door. Long hallway, and I can hear what sounds like two guys firing from one of the rooms at the end of the hallway. Looks like they didn't leave any for security. Again, probably expected us to sit tight, defend our casualties, and wait for extract. This is a new war, though. We don't sit and wait for air support anymore. Hit us, and we're going for the jugular. I call for the gunner, still putting fire on the house to aim high. The machine gunner is now shifting his fire up, hitting the roof of the building so he doesn't inadvertently put rounds through the thin walls and into us. By keeping up the fire, though, he's drawing the attention of the two guys to the side, making them think they're still taking direct fire. I take aim again. It's my bad idea. Might as well be perfect. Also, it's my team. The thought of one of the guys buying it almost so because I was second or third and it scares me more than this firefight. Stacked on the side of the door, just like a train, ready to burst in almost simultaneously. The third man on the stack squeezes the shoulder of the second guy, and in turn squeezes my shoulder. That's me. I'm getting that squeeze on the side of the door, right up and ready. It's supposed to be a four-man stack, but we adapt. I push past the first door on the left, and the two men behind me whip into the room. I hold position just past the door, still focused dead ahead where the shooting is coming from. A room further down the hall, right. A second later, the two come out the door, whispering, all clear. We press forward once again. The hallway is tight, too tight for the guys behind me to safely fire if anything happens without running the risk of hitting me in the back. So I'm all the security he has moving forward. I've done walking my feet spread widely apart and chest forward to the end. That way, if I do take a round, it'll go straight into the proper plate from the chest. It's an awkward technique to learn at first, but we've practiced it so long that it's just regular walking for me. I keep expecting someone to pop out ahead of us, but nobody does. The two firing away in the room ahead to our left are still completely unaware we're in the hallway. There's a body of man lying in the hallway.
Bare-bones domination.
All the bullet holes in the walls. Where
Got to the objective.
Gunfire tore straight through the thin walls of the home.
Taking C.
Round thing. Closed front door when the fight started. I take a quick look at the body, which is lying.
Enemy has Alpha.
Cover me.
C secure.
Checking a photo in my pocket the intel guys provided us with. Yep, it's the bomb maker. Now, just another KIA. The entire mission is basically pointless now. There's 2% left to tie up. The saw gunner out front is straight to the far left side of the house and the roof to make it
Enemy has B.
But the bad guy shooting out the window. Now I call him over the radio. He pulls his fire even higher, putting it
Kill action confirmed.
just another run through the CQB course back home. Nothing to it. Swing in, fan out, take out your dummy targets, and press on. I feel that squeeze on my shoulder, and operating purely from instinct, I swing into the doorway, press forward. In CQB, you slice up a room with individual fields of fire, and each man has his own slice. It's vital to clear your slice first, even if there's no bad guy there, because if you ignore it to open up on a bad guy in somebody else's slice, you miss someone. And now that bad guy you didn't put down is going to put you down.
Taking B.
Swing into the room and press forward just like in training. First man in, I'm responsible for the far left rear corner of the room, away from the front facing.
B locked down.
Bad guys. The second and third men are in the room just split seconds after. The silence at first, then the roar of gunfire.
Losing Bravo.
The room is clear, so I turn to the known threats, but they're already down. They never saw us coming.
Enemy took Bravo.
Is typically the victor. We've been trained to be aggressive, to seize the initiative, and deny it to the enemy. Keep them off balance. Tonight, that training saved our lives. I think about this night later, and I find myself glad that my slice
Taking Bravo.
down a hospital at point blank range. Close enough to see their faces. You've already seen the 2008 movie Bronson, about Britain's so-called most notorious prisoner. Don't worry, that rather theatrical piece of cinema didn't tell you much about the man, so there's so much more to see today. You might be thinking that it's coincidental that a man with such a reputation has the same name as a former also tough guy, but he wasn't called that at birth. The name was doesn't sound quite as fearful. There's a lot of controversy about this man regarding whether he should have been in prison for so long or if prison is the blame for his often crazy behavior. We discuss this and more in this episode of the infographic show. Britain's most notorious prisoner, Charles Bronson. As you know, he was born with the name Michael. His birthday was December 6, 1952. He spent his first few years in Wales and then moved to England, which isn't too far away from the capital London.
Hostile sniper.
Background. Given that his father ran a conservative party for a while, his aunt and uncle were mayor and mayoress. His aunt actually once said this about him. As a boy, he was a lovely lad. He was obviously bright and always good with children. He was gentle and mild.
Take B.
He would defend the Queen. He might have defended the Queen, but it seems his penchant for violence and crime started early in life. After he was born at the age of
Bravo, look down.
that's when trouble started. At that age, he was charged as a junior. He didn't much enjoy school.
Sniper located and engaged.
Back down. This was a very short Tesco supermarket. Apparently, he was fired for attacking.
Kill action
Crime
confirmed.
became second nature to young Michael. He got in trouble for criminal damage, but got off with a fine and some probation. He had lots of jobs, mostly related to labor or factory work, and we're told he enjoyed nothing more than a good night out on the town, drinking gallons of beer and getting into fistfights with the locals. Easy to do in some areas of the UK. He likely wasn't short of foes on the mean streets of Luton.
Losing B.
We're told was a circus strongman, so he was likely a hard man.
Lost Bravo.
Trouble man after crashing a stolen lorry or a truck into another car. But again, he got off just fine. No one was seriously hurt. At this point, he was still in his teens. Yet again, he got in trouble. And at the time, try smash and grab, which is basically smashing a car.
Take Bravo. Take what you can from this and win the next round.
In a suspended sentence. Age 20, perhaps he got his chance to join what is sometimes
Be
called
secure.
as he met a girl and got married.
Losing Bravo.
Quite liked his tough guy persona, his tailored suits, and the fact that he spoke in a Cockney accent. They had a child who called him Michael Jonathan Peterson. According to the British press, his son is very private and has never spoken publicly about his notorious dad, so we can't tell you much about him. Moving on, now 22.
Reaper deleted.
And at this time, the judge came down hard. He got 7 years, but prison wasn't exactly a place he liked being, it seemed. During his
Losing B.
Hi.
Hey, is Nate there?
No, she's still asleep.
She's still asleep.
Half time.
But it's her birthday.
Yeah. Never call and she wants to talk.
The mission's not over. Go again.
She's still asleep.
Enemy down.
No, she's not asleep. She's just sleeping.
Enemy down.
Call went down.
She wakes up. Yeah. Okay.
Reaper deleted.
Secure the objective.
He attacked 2 other prisoners, and we're told
Sit rep.
he wasn't provoked.
Hostile care package
He
above.
time in solitary, something he would see much more of later. He was then transferred to prison in Hull, and again had issues with guards and prisoners. They gave him sedatives to calm him
Enemy
down.
lightning strike radar detected.
He also spent more time.
Enemy has C.
He said he was very difficult prisoner. On one occasion, out of solitary, he attacked a prisoner with a glass jug, and he was convicted of
Securing Alpha.
Yet again, he was moved. This time to the tough Freindly jail in Leeds, a foreboding-looking place if you've ever seen one. So there he was, now serving time in what looks like a medieval castle.
Alpha lockdown.
The place is said to be the place with the highest rate of people taking their own lives. And in the press right now, it's said it's still very much an unsafe place for both prisoners and staff. Back in the 70s, it came to be hauled down, but it seems it was too much for prisons, sometimes chained to the floor of the units he traveled with. It said if not solitary,
Dismantled Reaper.
and guards. It's also said he incurred numerous vicious beatings from the guards after an attack. You might have seen that in the movie, which depicts these guards having to tackle him in numbers. During one time in solitary, while recovering from a beating, he got divorced. We imagine this might have been a low point, but it's said that one thing that kept him going was his solitary workout routine, keeping him healthy.
Enemy has Bravo.
His book, Solitary Fitness, which he wrote after many years inside, has sold millions of copies. Reviews are actually very positive, although people talk about how strange the book can get at times. profits from the book, says the media, go to children's charities. The British press tells us that his strength was quite unbelievable. He once bent the cell bars with his own hands, and it said he holds 6 world records for strength and fitness. Another unofficial record he has set is
Taking B.
rooftop protests by any British inmates. But right now, we're still in the 70s and a long way from fame or infamy. While in prison in London, he tried to poison an inmate, and it seems that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Enough with prison. He was
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Can I speak to Tay?
She's asleep.
Oh, she's still asleep? Okay, tell her to call mommy when she wakes up. It's her birthday.
I know.
Make sure you say happy birthday.
Wait, Mom.
Yeah?
I need to tell you this one thing. That's what I'm getting Peyton for her birthday. Ice cream.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to see you later.
Me
Secure in
too.
Bravo.
I guess Dad's getting up early, and then,
Yeah.
and then, is he gonna bring you to me?
I think so.
Bravo secure.
Okay, awesome.
Losing
Okay,
B.
well, we will do dinner, and I ordered a cake, the one she wanted, the whipped cream cake, and, yeah, it should be fun. I guess I meant to ask what she wants to do for dinner. Hot dogs, or?
Taking
I don't
Bravo.
know, but not IHOP because we had it last night.
Yeah, I wasn't put it on IHOP.
It was really good.
Was it?
Secure.
Good. Oh, hey, Brett, are you going to bring them to me later?
Losing Bravo.
Okay, thanks. What time?
Well, Dad's probably gonna pick us up around when my lunch ends,
Okay.
which is like
Alright.
we get back from lunch at around 12:40 because we have to go to the bathroom and stuff like that.
Okay, so you'll around 1. So do you want to bring them to me around like 4 or 5?
Securing Bravo.
Really?
Warning.
Does Peyton know yet?
What time?
The only one I can find right around here is at 12:30.
Oh, okay. So then that's plenty of time. I mean,
Oh, then yeah, Dad, you can just pick me up.
I'm just trying to get an idea, like 4
Wait,
or 5.
Could Mom come over as well?
Destroyed.
It's okay. I'll see you guys when you get here, because I gotta go get all the food for tonight, and Anthony and Courtney and Declan are coming. I gotta pick up the cake, I gotta get balloons, I gotta do a bunch of stuff.
Bravo. Locked down.
Yeah, that works. 4 o'clock is perfect.
Alright.
Alright, have her call me when she wakes up, okay? Alright. Bye, buddy. I love you.
Bye, Mommy.
Have a good day.
Okay,
Losing Bravo.
Bye.
bye.
We lost B.
That's gotta be Dad. So you're actually
Fight to your last
taking her to
breath.
the
Take
movie?
this back.
Dad, what looks like a really good movie is the new Star Wars.
facility. But guess who he met there? 2 of Britain's most ruthless gangsters.
Asset losses unacceptable.
Call them the
Go
best
to
two
ground.
guys I ever met. That friendship didn't last long though, as he was moved back to prison. What followed was more solitary escape attempts, attacks on prisoners that ended with lifelong scars, more attacks, and finally, when the authorities were sick and tired, he was sectioned under the Mental Health Act. He was no longer just a criminal, but mentally ill. In 1978, he was again in another special facility. But it seems he didn't much like being forced to take medication, and wasn't keen on the fact that he was surrounded by some of Britain's most disturbed people. Men who would never leave the facility because they had done things to people we will not talk about. Yep, he didn't like some of these terrible men, and at one point was said to be about 5 seconds away from killing a fellow patient or prisoner who had taken the life of an innocent child. In his own words, describing the people around him at the facility, I witnessed them running into walls, using their heads as rams. I've seen them fall unconscious doing this. There was one who just kept trying to eat himself, biting his arms, legs, and feet. He He tried to kill another prisoner, and then in 1982, when still in the notorious Broadmoor, he led a rooftop protest that lasted 3 days and cost around $300,000 worth of damage. Now you can see why this guy became well known as a hard to deal with prisoner. But there was a lot more to come. He hadn't even started. He led 2 more rooftop protests and also went on a hunger strike. But in some ways, he found solace in writing poems, sketching, and creating cartoon strips. He even won awards for his work. It didn't stop him being violent, though, just settled him down from time to time. Psychiatrists couldn't figure him out. And even though he was in a mental facility, he was never properly
Profit
diagnosed.
moving out.
He once said asylums are crazy places with crazy rules. If you're not mad when you arrive, you are when you leave. Again, he was moved from facility to prison, stabbing inmates, hitting others. More rooftop protests, more isolation, more beatings from the guards, more medicine, and perhaps his piece de resistance, he once strangled a prison governor. After that, he was not allowed out of isolation until he finished his sentence. He got out of prison in 1987 and almost
Bare bones domination.
although his first offense was quite common.
Capture the objective. Taking A. Enemy has C.
There, he started bare knuckle fighting. Bergman became Charles Bronson.
Alpha locked down.
Was this the start of a life on the outside? Not a chance. It's written that he would fight anyone and even challenge the king of bare knuckle fighting, Lenny McLean. It seems Lenny wanted no part of him, or at least
Enemy took Bravo.
It was too late, as Bronson was back in prison. In another fight, he was challenged to go against a large
Securing Bravo.
He killed him and said later in life that he really regretted that. It was cash in hand, though. He was only out of prison months and was back inside again for armed robbery. We won't go into details, but he fought again, attacked prisoners and guards, and had more time in solitary.
Hostile UAV circling.
And occasionally tried to survive.
Losing Alpha.
He was attacked himself, stabbed in the back several times, but he recovered. He wouldn't tell police anything about his attackers. In 1992, he got out for the grand total of 53 days. He was jailed but got off. Then he was arrested again for
Taking B.
It gets crazy here, because while on the remand,
Wasted profit.
while negotiating with police, he had 3 demands: an inflatable doll, a helicopter, and a gun. You heard that right. He was given 8 years, despite saying the gun was going to go off its own head. It wasn't the first time he had contemplated taking his own life. He was difficult again, transferred from prisons, and at times was left alone for
Securing B.
for another prisoner who had once killed inmates and was said to have spooned out one person's throat.
Losing Alpha.
Even though at one point he attacked a governor, it said he got much better after being allowed to interact with handicapped children. He also kept up his cartoon sketching.
We're being dominated. Get aggressive.
He endured more solitary.
Taking Alpha.
In prison, he took 2 Iraqi hijackers as hostage in his cell. It said
Securing
he was
Bravo.
crazy after losing his father. It
A
also
secure.
said that he told the guards if they came close, he would snap off the heads of his hostages. He made his hostages tickle his feet and demanded they sing songs to him. Then he was known as the General. He demanded a plane, machine guns, ammunition, and a cheese and pickle sandwich. It seems later he just kept asking for ice cream. In the end, he let him go, and another 7 years were added to his sentence. While in great physical shape, it said that all the time in darkness and solitary had negative effects on his
Losing
eyes
A.
and social skills. And lawyers now pity them that he took one of them hostage. He let him go quickly, though, but after one civilian worker criticized his guns, he took him too.
Hostile UAV circling.
What else? Well, after the lawyer
Attack. Establish UAV.
changed his name,
Enemy Hellstorm detected.
wrote a book, sketched one. Charlie Salvio, out of respect for his favorite artist. The movie came out and it became a household name. Until then, not many people knew about it. Thousands of people around the world started to support it, saying though he had been a bad boy, his incarceration had just gone on too long. But he couldn't stop messing up. In 2014, he attacked another governor. That same year, his artwork went up for auction, and his 200 pieces, often dark in nature, fetched around £30,000. Bronson donated a large part of this to the brain tumor charity. Bronson said
Hostile mark.
he created more work too.
This is your
He also got
married to an actress. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You'll take the next round.
Out of the 44 plus years he served, 36 of them have been in solitary confinement, sometimes without light. In 2018, it was said that he's in the open prison, but will have his case reviewed in 2 years and could get out. That might not happen though, as he's got a life sentence for one of his kidnappers. That was a teacher in 1999 that he held for 2 days. The British media reports that he allegedly smothered himself in butter at age 65 and challenged the guards.
Halftime.
It was something he once said. I'm a nice guy, but sometimes I lose all my senses and become nasty. That doesn't make me evil.
This isn't 0 week. Step it up.
It was a pleasant morning.
Capture the objective.
The 16-year-old woman had escaped the harsh winter of the
Take a seat.
had taken a yearly trip to a place called Carmel Valley. She was doing what she liked the most, and that was trail running. Only this day, she rounded the corner and ran
C lockdown. Enemy took
out
Alpha.
of the ordinary. But she later told doctors that this swarm was particularly annoying. The flies got in her mouth and eyes, she said, as she frantically tried to brush them away. A month later, that woman complained that something was itching in her eyes. To her horror, she then discovered the source of the irritation was a squiggling worm, something which would later baffle doctors. What she had was called a zoonotic disease. That's when a bacteria, virus, or parasite from one animal is passed on to the
They're gone.
was called Thalasia gulosa, and while it's actually quite common in the USA and Canada, it usually only affects cows. Doctors say now something weird is happening. That's the fact that these parasites are now getting into humans. We found another case, and this time the person was a 26-year-old woman, also from the USA. She said her eyes started itching, and so she investigated while she was working on a sanitation boat. She was horrified when she managed to pull out a worm that was about
It's out,
long. A spokesperson for the CCT's Division of Parasitic Diseases and Malaria had this to say about these strange cases. Cases of eyeworm parasitic infections are rare in the USA, and this case turned out to be a species of Thalasia that had never been reported in humans. This woman actually managed to remove 8 of the worms herself, which you can imagine wasn't the best job in the world. Doctors removed another 6 of the things, and in no time she was fine. The problem, though, is that if the worms are not removed, if that happens, there's a chance they might wriggle around so much that they cause damage in there, which could lead to blindness. If that doesn't make you feel lightheaded, the doctors in this case removed some worms that contained unhatched eggs in the larvae. And so what that means is these things can replicate in a person's eye. Leave those itches long enough and a person might find that they're home to a family of worms. A colony, if you like. This is what the CDC had to say about that. There were adult male and female worms in this woman's eye, and they've obviously been able to mate. It's quite romantic in a way, isn't it? Anyway, they were having sex in her eye, and one of them is pregnant and has babies. It's said that the particular face fly that causes all the problems was first seen in the USA sometime after World War II. But while cattle or cats or dogs are usually the victim, it seems humans are now fair game. The word on the street is that because there's so much more cattle now, there are many more face flies of this sort. One of the women who had eye worms told CNN that when she first removed one of them, it was wriggling, but it died soon after. She also said this: my left eye just got really irritated and red, and my eyelid was droopy. I was getting migraines too, and I was like, what's going on? I pulled down the bottom of my eye and noticed that my skin looked weird there. So I put my fingers in with this sort of plucking motion, and a worm came out. She said the first thing she did was run to her work colleague and scream to her that she just pulled a worm out of her eye. Then she went to see a doctor.
So, Daddy, I have questions. Have you gotten, you know what?
Huh?
Have you gotten?
Yeah.
Doctor and ophthalmologist, but they were stumped as to what was up because they'd never seen anything like it. After that, she got on a plane and went to visit other experts, but she said they were even skeptical about what she claimed. Worms don't live in human eyes, they first said, but they were wrong. She said she got one. As she was talking to this doctor, she felt one of them wiggle. She said, okay, look right now, it's on the move. She was right. The doctor saw the thing. I'll never forget the expression on their faces as they saw it move across my eye, the woman said. Okay, so they found the worm, but it turned out the rest of them were not so easy at all to remove. And at first, the flushes didn't work. It didn't help matters that there was really not a protocol for this, said the woman. This was new ground they were covering. She said it was not a pleasant feeling to know your eyes are host to worms, but the medical staff assured her that it was unlikely they'd burrow further in and would stay on the surface of the eyes. The woman later said, I tried not to go to the darkest place. Like, are these worms going to paralyze my face or infect my brain or impact my vision? You might be wondering why the flies are interested in human eyes in the first place. The doctor explained that flies really like tears because those tears are full of nourishment for them. The USA isn't alone. In Europe and Asia, there have been 163 cases of people being infected by eyeworms. But the eyeworm is not the same as the one found in the US. Their eyeworm is known as Calopeda. In Europe and Asia, the worms tend to pick on the young and the elderly simply because those people are not as good at swatting the flies away. If you don't want eyeworms, then we suggest you don't let flies anywhere near your face and get good at wafting them away. In the case of the runner we talked about at the start of the show, she was just unfortunate to run into a bunch of flies. It's actually a good thing that these people have talked to the media, because one of the women said at first she thought she was going mad. She searched on the internet for eyeworms, and no one had talked about it. So now you know, if you start feeling something wriggling in your eye, you probably are not crazy. The good news, according to the CDC, is that it's super rare in humans. You have way more chance of being struck by lightning or winning the lottery than having a bunch of worms crawl around in your eye. Now go check out the diseases that will kill you the quickest. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.
You can hurt yourself anywhere, on the field.
Hello there. Are you sleeping on a nectar mattress?
Control. Capture all zones.
Research proves that a lack of sleep lowers brain function, so if you're stressed, losing focus, gaining weight, or acting like a total schmuck, you might need to switch to nectar. When the chips are down, how do you respond? All of us like to think that we can rise to emergency challenges, but hope to never have a moment where the extreme.
We're capturing Bravo.
Is tested.
Mercs are contesting B.
Should have been a routine flight. The crew of United Airlines
Hostiles contesting A.
was suddenly faced with an unimaginable
Firing sensor dart.
a scenario considered so improbable, there was no formal procedure for addressing. This is the tragic yet miraculous crash.
Rigging disruptor online.
Hostiles contesting Bravo.
Rose the challenge.
Seeker mine up.
Hostiles are contesting all zones.
UA flights 232 took off at 2:09 Central Time.
Taking multiple zones.
Denver, Colorado. The
All zones contested. Take them.
was found throwing at International Airport in Chicago, with continuing service to Philadelphia.
Enemies are contesting all zones.
The sky was bright.
Capturing multiple zones. Good job. Merc forces are contesting Alpha. Bravo locked down.
With two experienced co-pilots.
Weigh in place.
Records, and second officer Dudley Thorne. It was a full flight with 296 souls aboard. In addition to the 3 pilots, there were 8 flight attendants and 285 passengers.
Enemies contesting Alpha.
Where the flies were 1 cent with the purchase of a regular.
No one lies. You know what to do.
Eliminated hostile hawk.
Luddite removed.
Capturing A.
Removed 0.
UAV standing by.
Enemies are contesting A. Hostiles are out of fire. Keep up the pressure.
On the flight deck,
Taking out one. We have the advantage.
The flight instruments indicated that engine number 2 on the tail had malfunctioned. So Captain Haynes and Officer Dvorak rapidly shut it down.
All zones infiltrated. Time by the numbers. Just how we drilled it.
Engine number 1 is now in front of the left.
Loadout removed.
Number 3 is mounted at the front of the right. The plane proved to fly with only 2
Remove 0.
Switching rally point.
Number 2 had some problems, and as a result, they
Defend all zones.
However, as this happened, some pieces were apart, right, and all over the nose dive. Officer Records turned his steering column trying to straighten out the plane, but it wouldn't respond to his commands. Captain Haynes also tried turning his steering column, but the plane still wouldn't respond. Officer Dvorak quickly realized that the gauges registering fluids for all 3 hydraulic systems were displaying
Merc forces are capturing B. We're defending B. All zones contested. Push them back. Sensor going live.
Manipulation of the flaps, ailerons, rudders, and braking systems. The DC-10's 3 hydraulic systems are
Mercs are being pushed back from all zones. We're contesting Bravo.
The plane was more or less simply sailing through the sky on an unmanageable trajectory, much like a thrown paper airplane. A single question.
TACOM, recon authorizing pressure. We're defending Alpha. All zones contested. Hold your ground. We're contesting B.
Throttles to manipulate the remaining engines. He throttled back the power of the left engine to idle and increases the power to the maximum on the right engine.
We're losing B. We're defending A.
Generating more lift and forcing.
We're contesting all zones. We're defending B.
Attack chopper available for tasking.
Mercs are being pushed back from all zones.
Disruptor going out.
We're contesting Alpha.
0 kill.
She surreptitiously alerted them one by one as she passed.
The enemy team is running low on lives.
Airline's pilot instructor, despite crew reassurances, he knew there was something very wrong. He let the flight attendants know his job and stated that
we're contesting B.
at 3:29 they explain the issue and have him go look out the cabin window to check if the ailerons are moving when they attempt to steer them. They're not.
No escape from progress.
While Captain Haynes and Officer Records continue to manipulate the steering.
We're contesting Bravo.
Control the plane. Meanwhile, Officer Dvorak has been communicating with air traffic control. The UA maintenance base in San Francisco, McDonnell Douglas.
We're contesting A.
Anyone they can get a hold of. It's considered virtually impossible that all 3 hydraulic systems would fail on a DC-10, and there's no emergency procedure to deal with the crisis. Furthermore,
we're defending Alpha. The enemy is out of lives. We're contesting B. Lighting up targets. All zones contested. Hold your ground. Losing Bravo.
Deploying disruptor.
And makes an announcement over the PA, telling passengers to prepare for a crash landing.
We're defending Bravo.
Expired.
The plane's doing what's called in aviation a fugoid cycle.
Concussion.
One hostile remains.
Ignoring concussion.
We're almost out.
Each iteration of the cycle, the aircraft loses approximately 1,500 feet of altitude. In the cabin, Brown and the other flight attendants go row by row checking seatbelts, making sure that all passengers know what to do. Per United Airlines